Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keene. For today's Sunday recap, we have Emileevee, Head of Marketing at Zen Academy, joining us. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. GM, GN, GA.
ZN.
All of the above.
Yes, good morning. Well, I guess it's night. Yeah, whatever. You can kind of always say good morning in Web3, so GM folks. So we actually met in person at an event. It was, what kind of event was it?
Wasn't that the Top Shot event?
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
random. It was like very last minute we decided to go, and then you were there. I was so excited.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because I'm like, I was thinking it was a Top Shot event, but then I'm like, wait, you're not into Top Shot. Like, why would you be in a Top Shot event? But okay, yes, it was. What is it? Rip City PAX, one of their events, maybe about 6 months ago in Portland. And yeah, it was great to finally meet you in person. And so, yeah, and here you are finally coming on the show.
I think we talked about it then too. It was like 6 months ago coming on the pod.
That's right.
It was a small group. So we have a group of Web3 Portland people. And I believe that we were trying to basically use that event as a place for us all to meet too. So we like hopped on it, and it was really cool to see how many people from Portland there were. It was awesome.
I know there were a lot of you're like, oh, wow, there are a lot of people into NFTs in my city.
Dozens of us,
Yeah. First of all, I want to know how you got into Web3, and then also kind of how you got to work for Zeneca, who's, spoiler, coming on the podcast soon as well.
The way I got into Web3, so my background was in advertising and marketing, and I bopped around a couple of different agencies here in Portland until I basically found a home in really just marketing and social media at this app. And my CEO of the app was very into Web3 at the time. He would talk our ear off. And to anyone that would listen about what's going on, I think he was very, very early on at that time at Bored Ape. And it was right before everything kind of took off, and he was just really excited. And I think one day I was like, okay, you've talked about this forever. Give me the whole rundown of everything, and I'm just going to absorb it. And so basically he taught me everything he knew. It seriously took like 2 hours of him just kind of ranting about Web3 and all the stuff for me to really get it. And he had just been creating a project of his own. And so to me was like the perfect opportunity to just kind of dip my toe, because I knew the founders. I knew they weren't going to rug us. I knew them personally. And that was the Truth project. That was the Truth Illuminati project, which was the creators of Goblin Town. So that was my first community I ever joined, which I feel very lucky, because knowing the people and being able to trust the founders was such a huge onboarding perk for me. And from there, it just kind of took off. I found so many smaller communities, and I think Crypto Coven was one of the big ones early on that I was like, wow, there's like a beautiful women-led project. Like the art is, a little bit different than what I'm normally seeing. It's very witchy and cute and pretty, and I just was obsessed with it. And that's where I met Zeneca. I met him in the Discord of Crypto Coven. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know he was a quote unquote whale of Crypto Coven. And I think we bonded over movies. He was talking about movies he had never seen before. He'd never seen Wizard of Oz. And I was like, I just couldn't believe it. And then just started kind of asking about himself. I really, truly did not know who he was. And then over the course of a couple weeks, we just started talking about what I did, what my background was. And he, made it clear he was looking for a little bit of help, and that's kind of the rest is history. I think we had like talked in the Crypto Coven Discord, and then I cold DM'd him about after I knew who he was and a little bit more about Zen Academy. I cold DM'd him about just like random stuff about Crypto Coven, and then we just got to talking about business stuff, and it's wild that the fact that was over just like over a year ago, and how much my life has changed and my career has changed since then is pretty mind-boggling. But that's how it works in Web3. I feel like I hear that a lot with folks. That's kind of the trajectory. Very quick.
I love that. That's an awesome story. Zenek is a good one to connect with. He's been doing it as long as I've been on NFT Twitter for at least over 2 years. He's been solid, keeping going, same thing every day. It's good stuff. That's a good story.
Yeah, and you host a lot of the Twitter spaces too, like the Zen dailies, right? Which I started to listen to some of them. I'm not a huge Twitter spaces person, but I so admire people that are able to be consistent with that. And I'm also kind of curious, like, because I saw your pin tweet is kind of how it's like, okay, I re-listened to some of my spaces, and I really feel like I've grown a lot being a Twitter host. Do you have any pieces of advice, I guess, kind of quick pieces of advice for people that are wanting to start a show, wanting to start their own spaces, but just kind of like don't know what to do or how to structure it, or like, how to go about that?
Absolutely. That's like one of my newfound passions. I feel like this year it really kind of sparked towards the end of last year and kind of came to a head early in January, when I basically bought all the equipment to do it, and I kind of forced myself to do it. I think my biggest advice is, well, number one, you don't need the perfect equipment to start. Even just these wired Apple headphones work almost just as well as the mic and setup that I have. And so I would say just start wherever you are, whether it's a weekly or even if it's like a monthly, just being consistent. And I feel like you just tweeted about this recently with uploading your podcast episodes and doing this. It just really does come down to consistency. My other piece of advice would be to find another person to keep you accountable. A good co-host is a dime a dozen. A good host, finding your kind of counterpart is key to being able to create content and having fun with it. Because if you are all on your own, or you're on an island and of yourself, it becomes pretty dreary and boring. But having that person to kind of keep you inspired and keep you going and isn't like an accountability partner in a way is huge. So that would be my other piece of advice. And then my third piece of advice would be, I think the practice of going back and listening to all of your recorded stuff, that has been the most helpful thing for me. I know. And some of us, we have the urge to just post it and never listen to it again. It's very, very, it's tempting, but I would say go back and listen and try to pick up on the pauses that you take. Maybe it's a little too long of a pause, but sometimes pauses are good, and you hear how you talk and how it could be better, or I cut off my host too quickly there, or stuff like that, where you can just remember and kind of use that, just take notes and kind of refer back to it over time. It helps your public speaking so much. If you go back and listen to me, the first Zen Daily we did, we're on episode like 60 now. Oh, it's bad. It's bad, but that's okay. You just got to do it. You got to listen to yourself. So that would be my other piece of advice.
Oh man, I definitely, I'll watch back live streams that I do sometimes, and then I'm like, oh my God, like why did I interrupt my co-host and everything? Like Moxie is my live streaming partner, but then I never listen back to our podcast. I don't know why. I feel like I like video so much better, so it's like hard for me to want to like listen. And then I start and I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Like I don't want to hear myself, but I see how that can be very beneficial too, of like, yeah, picking up on what you're doing. Oh, wow. I never even recognized that I do that, or I speak that certain way, or I, whatever. And it's like, and then being able to consciously change that. And I love how you mentioned like having a partner too, because Oh man, I know I definitely wouldn't be this far along with a podcast if I didn't have Michael and Andy. That's for sure. So yeah,
This
having
is
somebody.
episode 140, by the way, Emily.
Oh, 140.
140.
Let's go.
Not bad. I
That's
know
good.
you guys are going daily. That is very impressive. Like
Daily is
anybody
impressive.
that goes 5 days a week and can get on there with that same energy. Everyone that listens knows I'm like kind of a Twitter Spaces junkie. So I know that even your slot, that 10:30 slot is tough. You guys are going up against Rug Radio and Jenny's boy Alex Shillin Villain has his going then a lot of times. And but it's really impressive. I listen to you guys at least a couple times a week. I like the AI stuff. I've always liked Zeneca, and I love how you host it as well. So you guys have a really good show. It's always impressive to see someone going 5 days a week, every week. Yeah.
Can I tell you the secret? I still think
the
back to this
secret.
decision that I made. I was like, Zeneca, I'm down to do a daily show. We were doing it in the afternoon up until Ryan Carson left the Daily Dose, and
I remember that whole thing. I remember he had the crossover show.
Oh,
He tried to bring the Daily Dose people over.
Yeah. So it's actually 7:30 my time, and so it is the biggest fake it till you make it for me. Like I am actively drinking.
What are you in Hawaii? Are you in Hawaii?
I'm in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. So
3 hours. That's right. 10:30, 7:30. Yeah. Okay.
It takes a lot for me. It's all about the intro song. I always pick an intro song that's like gonna get me
Wait,
going.
what time would you wake? Because I feel like I would roll out of bed and do it if I had to wake up that early.
I feel like I cannot divulge what time I wake up because it'll make everyone just shake their head at me. No,
7:25.
7:25.
There are days like some days I'll get up at like 6:45. I'll make my coffee. I'll have like the epitome of like a good morning. And then some days it's like I'm literally snoozing my phone at like 7:10 and just like still just like laying in bed like I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. It's tough, but the biggest secret I can say, and it's not even a secret. It's just like, I'm so glad that we started doing this. It's like, it's 4 days a week of our run of show, our segments, everything. And we keep Friday as like a casual Friday so that we can bring more speakers on who weren't able to come for the rest of the shows. Number one, it gives us a break. It gives us a little bit of a little bit to look forward to of like the mental load of like 5 days a week is a lot, but also it does help our audience kind of get more used to coming up on stage and just getting to know us a little better and makes it not so it's sometimes not approachable to go up on a Twitter space stage. Sometimes you just don't feel comfortable with whoever is hosting or what the topics are, but this just kind of makes it a level playing field. And so we just spend the whole hour just discussing with our audience. That was like my favorite decision I've made with that show is to pitch that to Zeneca. I was like, okay, casual Fridays. So
that's a good move.
It's really nice. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, we've done it since February, beginning of February, almost the full year. So it's quite the feat. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, even with the early time.
Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah. Geez. That's so early. That is so, I literally this is embarrassing to say, but my every day, like, cause I work at Evaluate XYZ and every day we have a meeting at noon, my time. And my sleep schedule is so bad. I literally wake up at 11:55 and I'm like, hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing this. Like, I'm like, dead. But the night before I like set my calendar and everything, so it's but I swear I wake up 5 minutes before. Like
I think people are built different, number one, but like night owls, like there's like an evolutionary reason for people being either morning people or night people, because you couldn't have you had to have, okay, whatever, I could go on a whole rant about this, but the world needs night people. I
know. I get so motivated. I'm like, literally, I'll be messaging my coworkers at like 1 a.m. and they check in the next day. They're like, why were you messaging me at that time? I'm like, look, you don't have to respond. I'm just like putting it out there because that's when I'm feeling motivated. Like,
no shame in that. Yeah. No shame.
No.
Oh man. All right. We got to talk about some Oh yeah. Before we get into the topics, on the note of the podcast, I wanted to say that Emily was like, oh, I saw your tweet. We recently reached 400,000 downloads, which we're pumped about, folks. And yeah, we're just like, yes, this is great. It's just exciting to hit milestones because it reminds you of like all your hard work that you put into things and, you know, all the relationships we've built through the pod and everything. And I just want to shout out everybody who has listened. We couldn't reach 400,000 without you guys. So thank you. And also, we would love if you wrote a review. I found that people do not write reviews unless you ask. And we have not had any reviews this year yet. So if we could just convince one person to write a review for 2023, folks, that's all we need. Just one review. But yeah,
I think Emily's going there. Emily's going
doing
there
it right now.
This is great. We'll take it.
I got my phone out. I'm doing it.
We did a push at the end of last year and got to 100 of them.
Yeah, we got to 100. Our last
Jenny
one, I
was
think,
amazing.
is October.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, come on, reviews. But yeah, so anyway, that's that. We're pumped about the pod, and we have so many more amazing episodes planned for you guys. So stay tuned for that. This episode is brought to you by Swoops. Play Swoops is a true strategy game for basketball fanatics. And their Mint, season 1 of their Mint is coming up. They have a 1,500 supply priced at 0.05 ETH each. There is 3 days of the minting process. Day 1 is going to be owners only, which is happening on May 17th. And that day is exclusive to those who own a Swoopsters. The cutoff date for that to own a Swoopsters to be eligible is May 14th. Day 2 of minting is the pre-sale, which is happening on May 18th. And that mint day is exclusive to those who have signed up for the pre-sale event, which we will link below. Make sure if you sign up for the pre-sale, you use code NFT Catcher for a chance to win a Swoopster as well. And finally, the third day is the public mint on May 19th, which is open to anybody, assuming there is any supply left, because last time they did sell out in 35 minutes. Michael.
Yeah. No, it's exciting with new players about to come in. My team, it's a struggle. I can't say that we're crushing it, but we're working hard. I'm still very disappointed in Wen Simmons, just like in real life. Wen Simmons is not crushing it. But I know as they move on with Swoops, there's going to be divisions. You're going to be in levels with people similar to yours. I've had a bunch of questions this week, actually, from people that wanted to know how they could set up and play me one-on-one. So I reminded everybody, but I'll remind people here, you need to own 1 Swoops to do that. So you can buy one from season 0 that's already on the market. The price of those, the floor is like 0.65 right now. The mint that's coming up is going to be 0.05 if you want to wait. And in the new mint, they're adding 2 random players throughout the mint that are based on this year's NBA draft picks. And I don't think they're putting the names out there yet, but if you know the NBA draft picks this year, anyone that knows anything about the NBA draft knows there's one player that is gigantic, one of the greatest prospects of all time. Would be so awesome to get his Swoops. That'd be really cool. So they're doing that. Also, if you buy 5 during the mint, you get 1 free. So you have a full team, someone extra, you can move them around a little bit. It's been really fun to play. I've been loving it. If anybody's interested in checking it out, it is playswoops.com. At the very top, you can click pre-sale. It's free to get on the pre-sale list. Use our promo code. You might win a Swoops. You might mint one. You might get one of the best players in the league and win more games than me. Playswoops.com. Thank you so much.
Promo code NFT Catcher. All right, now back to the show.
Guests have been a lot of fun. We just had Julian from the Doodles on. And speaking of the Doodles, let's break into the topics. See, my segues are impeccable. Did you do any of the new Doodles stuff?
Emily? Because I actually didn't, even though I said I was going to.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God.
I hope someone didn't steal Jenny from the
Doodles?
blockchain.
This is bad. This is bad.
We're off to a great start, everyone.
I know. We're like,
bad.
Well, so what happened was, first of all, they were supposed to, I think at 6 p.m. my time, CT, they were supposed to launch the Stoodio and start the Twitter Spaces and everything, which I was actually live streaming at that time. but it ended up getting delayed for several hours. I think it wasn't until like 9 my time, I want to say, that it was finally live. So it was so it got delayed, and then I don't know, like you have to like create an account. You have to have like a email and password, and I like wanted to create a whole new email and all this. So I just like put it off, that type of thing. But this is a good plug for everyone to also listen to our Jillian episode, because he talked a lot about the Stoodio and all the big plans they have. But yeah, Pharrell Williams tweeted about Doodles. What was it, on Friday? Very exciting. A lot's happening. There's something in the water festival that Jillian was talking about. I mean, I saw photos on Twitter. JKB Juicy Cat Bay is there, and they had like a whole Doodles. I don't know, what is it called? Just a whole Doodles section. And installation. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I just feel like they're making big moves right now. Like right now they're doing a lot. So it's really cool to see. But yeah, did you do the Stoodio thing? No, you didn't, right, Michael? I think all you need are wearables. You don't even need an actual. Oh wait, no.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything in the
all
I have is like fake airdrops in my hidden folder that people made to look like they were like Doodles mint passes or something.
Fake airdrops. Oh no.
That's all I have.
Scam airdrops are back.
Yeah. Doodles volume has been really high though. They've been number 2 on dgens.finance like
really
most of the last 3 or 4 days. And usually they're in like the teens or 20s.
Yeah, the floor pumped to like 3 ETH. I don't know what if
they flipped Milady, your other favorite project.
Okay, so they're still at 3 ETH. Wow.
Yeah, they went up to 3. They were down at 2.9. I mean 2.29.
No, yeah.
They got to like 2.29. Yeah, I thought they were gonna go under 2.
I was like, please don't go below me getting one at 1. Like,
yeah. Don't go below the BYO pill. Don't go below the BYO pills I traded for him.
Exactly. Same with Cool Cats. It's like at 0.8. I'm like, please don't go below 0.69, which is what I paid.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think it will. I think it's going there.
Don't manifest that.
I don't think it. I mean, I just don't know what they're doing. 0.82. It's fair. 0.82.
Oh, did you see, I guess, speaking of news, Extreme Tom, who was actually our first guest that we ever had on the show. He was one of the founders of Cool Cats and the developer for Cool Cats. He recently announced a couple days ago that he was going to be basically stepping away and from like working full time for Cool Cats and stepping into more of like an advisory role. So a little more hands off. He said, I don't know. I think it had something to do with the new CEO and them trying to, I don't know what they're working on right now. Something with Animoca brands and all that. But yeah, I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of sad because like it feels like the whole founding team is just like stepping away. And it's like, oh.
There was another founder that had that exact, I'm going to step into an advisory role. Who the heck was that? I'm trying to remember.
I want to say it was Elu or something, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's a shame. But
it is what it is.
He's still around. He did well.
Maybe it'll be like the Pudgy Penguins thing where it was like all of a sudden Pudgy Penguins died and then next thing you know, Luca took it over and it started exploding like crazy. Which, did you see they literally had tweeted that they posted this video. I guess their new thing is like creating cool like animations and putting them on Instagram. And like one of their videos, I think it got like 12 million views or something. Like it was just like an animation of like their Pudgies. And they're just trying to like break into like the normie culture and everything. And yeah, it's like, whoa, oh my God, they're like really doing things over there. So
I feel like out of anyone, that brand is going to be the one that breaks into it. You would have thought with Doodles, I see a lot of Doodles comparisons there, and it's just really interesting. I gotta meet Luca in Miami too, and talking to him for like 2 seconds, you're like, yep, this. I'm not gonna say kid, really? But compared to me, he's a kid.
He's like a super tall kid.
He's a super tall kid. And he's just super inspiring. I was blown away by just how much he got it, how he gets marketing, and how much drive he has to get Pudgy Penguins in the normie world to break through. I mark my words, Pudgy's will be the one to really do it.
Oh, wow.
I don't even have one yet. That night I met him, I was like, I need to buy one. And then got home. They were like, I think like 2 ETH or something. And the next morning was the big pump. It was like right around Miami.
They went up to like 6.
Yes, they did.
They're sitting at 4.25 right now. It's pretty,
but they were at
pretty
like,
high comparative.
And I was like, I should get this. I just don't want to get out my ledger kind of thing. Like I just didn't. I was like being lazy that night. And I was like, I'm traveling tomorrow, whatever. Pumped. I'm
no doubt
really the worst NFT trader of all time.
It's okay. I am too, definitely. What about your sappy seals? What do you think about sappy seals? Do you think that they're
I love sappy seals so much. And like I'll be real, like I've been so well, I'm getting married at the end of this month, so planning a wedding and working in Web3 do not mix, I'll tell you that. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. But with that and Zen Academy's PFP project coming up and just like all the work, I have not been keeping on top of sappy seals as much as I want. And like I changed my PFP. I love my little seal so much. I got my mom a seal. She has the matching one.
Aww.
All I know is that their community makes me laugh. They are so funny. They're so strong. And the meme machine is just like, that is utility. I can go and pick a meme or not even a meme, just an image for any tweet that I want to tweet. I love them so much. Wab is an amazing founder as well. Like I just love them. They have a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah.
Tell me about the meme machine. So I've heard a lot about it, but I've never used it. You need a seal and you go to their site, you connect, and they have so you put an image in and they give you words for it, or
no? Okay. It's really cool. And it's a little bit different than that. So Pudgies use it and Sappy Seals. It was made by PRESALE. Yeah, it's made by Sappy Seals. But a couple and Utes also utilize it too. Utilize it. Haha. You basically just put in your Sappy Seal number 9775, and then all of these pre-created memes have your seal
with you. Oh, that's so cool.
So it can be like you can have your seal being like GM or just like silly, just memes, but it's your seal. You can also there's a plugin on your computer that when you're in Twitter, you can quick react in Twitter, so you can respond with. It's like a plugin with Twitter too. So there's just like
if somebody tweets something, you can automatically respond with yours seal
being like
whatever.
Thumbs up.
Oh God.
It's so stupid, but especially Web3 degen stuff. Like, I love it. And it's like never ending like well of content for me to pull from. I love it. I love it.
No, that's cool stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
It's the little things.
It is. It's truly the little things.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
Wob, I actually invited him to come on the show, and usually if it's a no, people would just like ignore you. But he actually responded and he was like, oh, I actually don't like do podcasts or whatever. And I'm like, okay, if you ever change your mind, you're welcome on. But yeah,
really
Sappy
awesome.
Seals, yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
Goes on Spaces. He does Spaces sometimes. I kind of like trolly send him links to our Spaces. Sometimes I'm like, come on, like, what did I say? I was like, oh, I can't remember. It was like this is terrible. But I was like, come to my women in Web3 space or you hate women. And he can't even think it works.
Really?
He's such a troll.
Oh
He's such a troll.
gosh.
Like yeah, it's just like stupid stuff like that. I love it so much. So he's just funny. He supports his seals too. Like he shows up and yeah, we love him for it. But maybe not on pods.
Well, to be fair, okay, I just checked the history. It was in September that I messaged him and he's like, oh, I'm not doing podcasts currently, but maybe in the future. So maybe I should follow up with him. Like,
he would come on.
You know,
now that we're the #1 podcast in the history of NFTs,
lead with that.
400,
right? You always have to like invite people after you like do some flex, like tweet about your podcast. Like now that I tweeted the 400K downloads, I'm like, okay, now's my chance to invite everybody on.
Well, I looked at Emilee's face when you said 400,000K downloads, and she like rolled her eyes. Like they have 60 episodes. They probably have
Michael's always lying.
like
Don't even listen to
2.7
him.
million. They probably have like 2.7 million downloads and 60 episodes. She's like, oh, good for you guys.
No, I was just thinking about what you could say I was like literally thinking what you could tweet or message Web, and you could be like, Emileevee was on our podcast and talked shit about sappy seals. You got to come on the podcast.
Yeah,
to
defend.
or something like that.
Okay, maybe I should.
There you
That's
go.
good. Maybe I should. Okay, I'll have to formulate something. I'll plug you. I'm gonna.
Don't do that. I don't think so. It's
no,
like,
I'll be like, we just had Emily on, and she was like, "OMG, Wob would be such a great guest."
She thinks Wob's rugging the community, and she
No, I would say something good though. Like,
he already thinks I'm ridiculous because I'm always just come to my space. But sometimes like, you have to just like spam. Like this is my other piece of advice to anyone ever. Always cold DM. Just send the DM, invite. If they don't, the worst thing that they can say is no. What they're probably going to say is nothing. And the best case scenario is yes. So like, why not? Anyway, that
is so true.
Yeah.
I'll hop back off my box there.
I asked Julian for a free doodle for all of us, and he was not having it. Because
Michael embarrassed
Star-Lord,
me.
I was embarrassing a little bit. I had a plan because Star-Lord, he gave all of us an Oni Force. It was very, very nice. It was incredible. An incredible gesture. So I shouldn't have done it. So I tried to say that. Julian,
like,
I don't even think Julian ever heard of Oni Force when I said it. He was like,
he's like, what's that?
Okay. Yeah, he's like, that dude gave you 3 of them. You think I'm gonna give you 3 doodles? I don't think so.
Tell Zeneca that I said that he should give you a Zen chest. How about that?
Oh,
I will. I'm gonna message him right
on
now.
this week? He's on this week, right?
He's coming on May 4th. Yeah, it's Sunday, but like, next week, I guess.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah.
Nice.
Badger him a little bit. Badger him for me. Tell him
Thursday.
Tell him I said hi. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Emily's coming on. Like, let me know if you ever want to come on. He's like, oh yeah, I would love to. It's like, oh, sweet.
We always try to do these. Like, I love, honestly, podcasting is one of my favorites. I've never like done my own, but I like chatting with people, and especially with video on. Twitter Spaces are hard because you can't. I'm like when I talk to somebody, I give a lot of like feedback, whether it's like, oh, that's odd. Like I sometimes have to stop myself, but when you're actually on video, you can actually do it without making sounds. And it's hard on Twitter Spaces, except you just have to emoji react.
Emoji, yeah, that's what people are always doing. They're like all the emojis. Like, oh, okay. What else we have to get into? I feel like we only talked about doodles and I don't know, random.
No, it's all good. You know, I used to be able to pull. Like all week there was news happening and I was messaging myself, and I had a whole list, but there's not a ton, but I went through like some of the things that are interesting. PayPal announced that they're going to allow customers to start transferring crypto to friends, family, other PayPal accounts and external wallets. I thought that was cool. This one is kind of ridiculous, but I found it interesting. William Shatner is going to be releasing 2,500 NFTs on that Orange Comet website, $500 each, and you get a signed Funko action figure. But what is really interesting, I think that William Shatner at 92 years old is really in it for the NFT culture. He's in it for the culture, the community. He's in it for the long haul, for the utility, for the people. I can tell that for sure.
Yeah, he's in it for the long haul because he's probably going to die in like a year.
Yeah, they're like, what can we do to get some money for the grandkids' college?
Dang, that's crazy that he's 92. Wow.
Yeah, I know. But he's got an NFT project coming. I found that. Azurbala. Do you get into Azurbala, Emily? We've talked about them a lot on the pod. We had those guys on. We had Thread Guy on. What
happened with that? They were going to do the whole project that they were going to launch, the Azurians or whatever. Right. And then everybody hated the art because it was trash.
Hated the art.
And then
they hated it because it was trash. Yep.
Yeah. And it was like,
it was
like universally accepted that it looked horrible.
Yep.
So
drop a link. I want to see.
Wait, no way. You've never seen it?
Maybe I have, but I see, you see so many things and it's hard to.
Oh, you'll know right away. like this like clip art looking just really bad. Just like really bad. Like so random. Like, but yeah, wait, what were we even talking about with Azurbala?
So we're talking about Azurbala. Yeah. So 2 days ago, they tweeted like this letter, and at the top of it, it has a silhouette of what the new character seems to look like.
Oh,
and
really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's like it looks like a little more like anime warrior type, but it's only a silhouette. So if you go to Azurbala's Twitter, maybe was to go there, they could see it.
I see. Yeah, I think the problem was they were mixing like 3D with 2D, and it was like really weird. So, and everyone was like, 3D like wasn't the move for them. Like if you're gonna do 3D, you kind of have to do it really well. So it looks like they switched to 2D now. Like I feel like this one's 2D. It looks like it anyway.
2D's the way to go. 2D's the way to go.
It kind of is. Yeah, it's hard to do 3D.
Yeah, so that's coming. You weren't into Jenkins of LA or anything, Emily. That wasn't your wheelhouse.
Like I came in to Web3, unless like I totally missed it, but that seems like right before my timer, like right when I was still
an early one. It was an early one. Yep.
So I think I missed a lot of what was going on, and but I obviously am know of Jenkins of LA, and
no doubt. Yeah, I hear that. If you get in, like, so if you came in whatever it was in June, and that might have already been half an ETH, you're not just going to go buy in some expensive project when you first come in when there's so much happening.
100%. That's how I feel about a bunch of the project, like Doodles. I was like a little bit too, like a bunch of stuff. I entered the space December of
2021. Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
Right.
Sure.
It was like
no doubt
at literally the top. But eco top of ETH, basically, almost
4,700 or whatever. Yeah,
seriously, that I think
I know.
I think my favorite claim to fame is buying ETH at the top, at the very top.
Let's go. You have to buy the top at least once for something, right?
Yeah.
But it was going to 10,000, right? Didn't they all say? Like,
hey, it's just a local top, all right? In the next cycle.
Top, right?
So you bought a 4,700. That was the worst. Like, remember, it went down to like 9.25.
Yeah,
that was a nightmare. Oh my god.
It's a living nightmare. We're still a nightmare.
It's a living nightmare. It's at 1840 at the moment. We are Sunday night, April 30th.
I love it whenever we quote like crypto prices.
Well, people have to know, like they're like listening, like
yeah. I tell you, April 30th at 9:10 p.m. CT, 10:10 p.m. EST, and 7:10 p.m. PST.
It's actually EDT, PDT because it's daylight savings time.
I always just say it with the S. Like,
that's a pet peeve.
I always mess it up. Really? I always get it wrong then. I always get it wrong.
The daylight time and the standard time. A little bit.
Well, I'm from Arizona and you don't have to change. There's no daylight savings.
I know. Yep. So that's actually why it's a pet peeve to me, because it's when I was a ticket broker, I know every city in the country's time zone because of like when we were doing tickets. I know all the East Coast cities, the Central cities, the mountain cities, and the Pacific cities. And then I know that you guys didn't change. So half the year you were mountain, half the year you were Pacific.
We have our own time zone, actually.
They have no time zones. They have no Martin Luther King Day. You guys do your own thing down there in Arizona.
I guess so.
Where are you, Michael?
I'm from Philadelphia, but I live near Miami.
Amazing.
I'm in Parkland. Would you like to know my address? Jenny says I give too much information about myself.
I'm like your protective. I don't know. I'm just like, do not share your address.
Yeah.
I think about that sometimes, and because I like posting pictures of my life. Like I'm very.
If you're like in a coffee shop or something, I know what you mean.
Right, and I'm just like sometimes I'm like in my house, and I'm like, is there like a package in the back that they can see? Or like even right now, like I have my game up. I'm like, is my gamer tag up right now? But it's only you guys, and I'm just. Oh, my wedding invite.
Andy has already been scanning everything.
Yeah, we're like zooming in on everything.
I was thinking about that.
That's what he's doing in the background right now.
I was like, a DGen could come up, just hop on my join the wedding.
Right.
The address to the wedding is right there. Anyways,
and just show up
all the time.
Just show up, crash the wedding.
Seneca's coming to the wedding, though. I'm really excited.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's cool. I was wondering, have you thought about like doing because oh my god, people always talk about this, like some type of token gated in the metaverse, like metaverse
God.
wedding.
So it's funny you mentioned this. So when
Give out POAPs.
we were thinking about POAPs, but POAPs are not, there's a whole thing with POAPs, but we were thinking about doing like a Web3 wedding of some sorts, but I don't know. We've been busy planning the
real wedding.
that I haven't done about it.
Wedding.
But when Moonbirds was going to do their proof of conference, we were talking about doing like a fun like get together while we were at that conference to celebrate with our Web3 friends, because we have a lot now. Like a lot of people there's some that I actually invited to the wedding, some that like I would love to just celebrate somehow. So maybe I should brainstorm again of like just something we could do. So
that's
maybe
actually
a special Twitter Spaces, maybe wedding edition.
That would be really sweet. Okay,
it's actually a business idea. What you guys are just talking about, like weddings, everyone that comes gets a digital commemorative from a wedding that lasts forever that you can show people in 100 years. It's actually really cool.
The other thing too is like my family is so supportive of what we're doing. Like my mom specifically is very, very curious, like Web3 curious. That's what I love to call her, Web3 curious. I think it'd be fun to have like a QR code at our wedding to like onboard new people and
exactly.
POAP and here's what you can do with it, because this is what we do for a living, and I think it'd be kind of interesting. So like
I was gonna say you kind of work for a company that has a little bit of educational stuff going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even like that, a lot of our educational stuff, we have our 30 days of NFTs email course. Like I specifically talked about it with our team. Like when we're writing this, I want my mom to be able to read it and understand. So I'm trying to make it appeal to any level. So anyways, that's a nice idea. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I've been so caught up in, napkin colors and linens that I haven't thought about Web3 wedding stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. It's always like, I know that was the thing people were like joking about and stuff. Like, oh, what happens when NFT people get married? Like, what are they going to do? So it's like, oh, Emily can actually do something here.
An NFT registry, like anyone wants to buy NFTs, here's our NFT
wait,
registry.
that's genius. I actually like that a lot. I like that.
I've said it so many times that I feel like somebody has heard me say it, or somebody else, and is like already building it. But how perfect would that be? Like one art, like one of one art that we love and we would love to have as like a couple. Like this is our whatever.
I love that. And then it's like you have a range.
Go build it for us.
Somebody build an NFT. That is smart. I love
your
that.
Your fiance is into Web3 also?
Yeah, so he was on the Goblin Town team for a long time, and right now he is in between. So he's going to be starting to work for another project soon, but it was that weird like probably do it after the wedding because we're going to be taking a little bit of time off. So he's really into, well, he's a product designer. So he like physical products. And so he helped out with merch. He also has worked in events. So he does like build outs for activations and event stuff. He's like kind of a jack of all trades, and he's helped with marketing. So yeah, I'm really proud of him. He's the best. It's fun to have your partner be.
Did he do the Goblin Town burger truck in New York?
He did. That's exactly
Nice.
Yeah, he did
That's
that.
what it sounded like.
And he did he was like the original voice of the goblins on the Spaces too. So
that's a classic. That's actually that's a claim to fame right there. You tell him respect. That's a claim to fame.
He's awesome.
Oh my God.
Our house was chaos during that time. And
so those Twitter Spaces were originating in your house? Those famous like 2,000
Michael's fanboying right now. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah, this is a revelation right here, because that was secret at the time. Like nobody knew. Everyone was like, what the hell? Who are these people? And it was in your house.
Well, here's the fun. Like the whole team just got so into it. So like they would do like sound effects. So the actual sound design was by one of their team members who did the music, and like kind of he would like hit like raw meat to make this like gross, like nasty, like crunch sound and stuff, and like all this stuff. So when they were doing the Spaces, Entropy, his name is Entropy. He would take our blender and like you could, so like there are multiple spaces where you can hear like our blender and like things like clashing in the kitchen. That was it in my house. And I'm just like up here or like in the room. And I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? Cause this was like, as it was all blowing up, but yeah, it was a fun time.
That was during
is
VCon
hilarious.
last year. I remember people at VCon talking about Goblin Town.
Isn't it weird that that's like a year ago almost?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah, so it's this, I mean, our whole lives, like it's just changed like going into Web3, and it's been cool to think about like the last year and just like how it's all evolved. And then getting like, I remember entering Web3 and being like, this is fun. I want to like, it'd be nice to make some money, so like for the wedding and stuff. And like, it's just funny that like now we're a year later and the wedding is happening. It's just like totally makes the time weird.
Yeah. So much has happened like in such a short period of time. Like I think, and I also feel like people that are in the NFT space, like kind of like thrive off of chaos. Cause it's like there was, and there still is stuff happening every single day. Like you never get bored. There's just always stuff happening. So it's a very exciting space to be in. And it's very like chaotic, like, oh, all of a sudden there's a huge, scandal and like, or scammers coming out and, oh, this person did that. And then the next day there's like something amazing that happened and the price has hit a new all-time high. And just like so much happening all the time.
I think the funny thing, like the different metas that happen, like right now with like Pepe coin, like the shit coins that are happening, like how does one explain that, like that? And
yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot. There's like a lot going on right now, but it also feels really slow lately, which is okay. I mean, I'm trying, it's hard to like match the level of excitement that we felt in that bowl, or even like, towards like the middle of last year, but it is kind of nice to have it be slowed down a little bit. Also, your cat
totally.
is cracking me up.
Daria just was like, hello. Oh my God, you could hear her purring into the mic. Yeah, and I also think that it's easier to network because I think people they're less busy and they're getting less messages. Like I think it's a lot easier to like reach out to the people that you really want on the pod, but maybe, they were just too busy. And like now's kind of that time. Like I found that people are more likely to say yes in the bear market because they have a little bit more time on their hands. So it's a little easier with that too.
That actually leads me in, Emily. One of my next topics was building in the bear market. And I wanted to ask you, like, it's obviously a huge difference from a year ago. And what's it like? Because, there's not tons of money rolling in with royalties, I'm sure. I haven't really looked exactly, but that's just the way it is. What's your guys' plan? What's it feel like? How does the bear affect you guys?
Yeah. So we've been talking about this lately of like, when things are busy, when things are like, feeling bullish, feeling like you're in the bull market, it's like the time to just throw spaghetti at the wall of like big idea, and just see what sticks. And now we're in that part of that kind of cycle where we're like, okay, let's look at the spaghetti, what's stuck, like what's working for us, and kind of keeping very specific things as our focus. Right now, it's the PFP. So we have our PFP coming soon. I'm going to have to be very careful of what I say, or Zeneca's going to get mad at me. He's going to be on your pod and be like, what did you say?
I'm good at getting some of this info out. So keep going. And I might have.
No, I know. I'm like notoriously bad. Okay. So we have our PFP coming. We just dropped some very sneak peeks of the art of the PFPs. We have not announced the name of the collection yet, which will come soon. We really like, our goal with the PFP is to reward our community that's been with us and give them an identity to sit behind. And I'm just so excited. We've been working with Pondering, an artist that we found early on in Zen Academy. He was a Zenmas artist. So we do this art drop, kind of 12 days of Christmas Zenmas art event, let's say. And he was one of those artists. And he kind of encapsulated Zen Academy in a way that it has become our guiding light for the brand. So if you look at like some of our old cover image art, he made this beautiful cover image that was our Zenmas piece. And when I first started in February, I kind of used that as the inspiration for what Zen Academy would be, and kind of like the brand identity that we took on: a lot of purple, a lot of magic. And I kind of took that and ran with it a little bit when we started thinking and concepting around the PFP. So in our latest tweet, I have it pinned up at the top at Zen Academy, it kind of shows a little bit of that, a little bit of magic, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of technology, a little bit of futuristic stuff. So that kind of sets the tone for what the direction is going to be for the PFP. It's a lot of the early concepts, but there's some that are a little bit closer to what they look like, some that are a little farther, and we're kind of leaving it up to, in the eye of the beholder at the moment. But we're going to be dropping more sneak peeks as we go, basically every couple weeks. We're going to be adding to it. So I'm really excited about that. So I've been helping on the creative side with lore and writing and some of, high level feedback for the art direction. We have a wonderful art director who's been working with our artists. So that's what we've been focusing on right now. That, and we're working on the consulting side of Zen Academy. So having some of our core team members, Zeneca included, do some consulting work and helping other projects. We've already had a couple clients in the past, but kind of utilizing Zen Academy as educational and just helping builders in the space as well. That's like the other kind of core mission for us. So yeah, the PFP has been taking up most of my time at the moment. It's been a lot of fun.
That's exciting. That's going to be exciting leading up to that. I do need to say, so I'm taking it that you were the one that put the purple, like the crystal ball or whatever it is in, and like started branding with that.
Yes,
that's a brilliant move. I've noticed that a long time ago. Yep. You guys were early to that craze. A lot of companies are claiming emojis, and you guys got a really noticeable one, recognizable super early. That's a really good move.
Thank you so much. That was that was after a conversation with Zeneca when we were building the brand, and we're like, okay, Zen Academy, obviously purple. Oh, we need I was like, okay, we need an emoji. What is the emoji that's purple? And we like both just said crystal ball as soon as we saw it, and we're like, let's grab it. It's really cool because I honestly, I say this a lot. Somebody repping a crystal ball in their Twitter bio or Twitter name is more valuable than any influencer tweeting about you. Just having boots on the ground, people just repping you at all times. It's invaluable.
100%.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the pin tweet too. Like, ooh, I can already tell that these are going to be fire, like just by the sketches. And also I'm like, okay, now I'm like digging into the artist. Like, what was the person's name? Pondering.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're doing a bunch of fun stuff around. I'll give you a little overview of Zen Academy just really quick. I don't want to take up too much more time. So we had our Zeneca, we had our letters that people had. That was the NFT that was the token to the community. And we have the 333 Club, which is a little bit more niche, a little bit more exclusive to a small group of like mostly like founders and builders in the space. So the main token was the letter. And so we did a burn event where you burned your letter to claim a Zen chest, that's the key to the PFP. So you have to have a Zen chest that will reveal into your PFP eventually. But we also have a free entry point, and that is the student ID. And you can go to the website, zenacademy.com/enroll, and claim a student ID. You get a student ID number, and soon you'll be able to claim different badges. And I can't say what the badges are going to be, but they're going to be some fun ones. But it is completely free. And that's like the entry point into the ecosystem, basically. So you'll have to have a Zen chest to burn for a PFP, but that's the fun stuff. It's going to be, I'm really excited.
Can you still buy one of the letters and burn that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Those are still available. You can have a letter or a Zen chest, and you can still buy letters on secondary to do the whole experience, which is really fun.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, you guys are holding a strong floor over a quarter ETH. Nice these days.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. I don't tend to look because
Sure. No, that's good. That's good. That's
it's hard. It's hard as a building in the bear is hard. It's we in the Discord, Zen said it best, like, the market is abysmal, but that it's not going to stop us from building something really cool for our community. And that's what I love. That's what I love about Zen and Zen Academy.
Love it. Love it.
Plus his accent.
His accent. Yeah, he has a great
Plus
accent.
his accent. Anyone
It's
that
fun
has
to co-host with him.
yeah.
Makes my American boring accent sound.
I know,
like easy.
right? Like
No,
all
it's
American
better.
accents. Boo.
Oh.
All right. Do we have anything else? Any other topics to talk about?
We got some other topics. When I was Googling NFT news, one of the headlines, this is in conjunction with the building in the bear market question. The whole headline literally said, majority of NFT collectors are capitulating. New data says. So I was like, oh, that's
Are
great.
capitulating.
Yeah, it just means they're just like giving up. And
Yeah, I think a lot of people have already given up. Like at this point, I think a lot of people have already given up that we're going to give up. I think the people that are here now are like people that are just actually in it to like, that are actually passionate and not just kind of in it for the money making aspect, and are actually wanting to be a part of Web3 and how things end up turning out over here. But I think the money people will be back, like, because, it's all cyclical. It's like, they'll be back eventually. It's just, they're not here when the times are tough. So
that's exactly what it is for sure. When people start making money, word spreads very quickly. That's what happened in early 2021 with Top Shot. People were making money. So everyone was telling their friends, like,
oh yeah,
it'll happen again. It'll happen again.
Maybe
I have two more
someday.
pieces of news before we do the top 10. Quick one. Jenny's boy Trump sold another 45,000 NFTs.
Why you always say everybody?
I know. I did too many times this
I
episode.
don't even say any opinions about these people. I don't say whether I like them or not.
No.
And then you just say my person. I'm like, I haven't even said.
And that's a bad one to put on somebody. You don't want to put that on somebody if it's not their person. He sold 45,000 more NFTs for $4.5 million.
Wait,
Season
really?
2.
How come I didn't even see that?
Yeah. He did the first season, sold 45,000 of them, $100 each.
Well, they weren't as popular this time around, I guess, because last time they were really popping off.
Yeah, they sold out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it didn't make all the news this time. And VCon is coming up. Are you coming to VCon, Emily?
I'm not.
You got
the
wedding
week before the wedding
planning.
Yeah, we basically stopped all travel plans until after that.
No doubt.
Smart.
Where's the honeymoon going to be?
We're going to Tulum in Mexico.
Ooh, Tulum.
I'm
Awesome.
just going to be on a beach.
Do like Chichen Itza. You got to do Chichen Itza and stuff like that, though, right?
We're going to do it. Yeah, I've been to Cancun before. And I didn't get to go to Chichen Itza.
Okay.
So that was the thing. We want to be on a beach, but we want to be able to do little excursions and stuff too.
Yeah,
so it'll be
go to like a couple of those cenotes, those like holes in the ground where you can go swimming.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's an amazing area down there. Cool. Okay. And VCon tickets are down. The reason I asked about VCon, because VCon tickets are down to 0.08.
Oh, they finally got below 0.1.
Yeah.
Andy was like just saying.
God, what was he saying?
Andy was just like, "Oh, I should have waited to buy my ticket."
I know. Literally, it might go down to like almost free toward the end, because if the people that can't go, they're like, I might as well sell it for something.
Okay, here's a question. Do we think, because last year, obviously was the first VCon, basically 3 VCons are promised, and then who knows after that. During the first one, the price dropped, I don't even know to what, but it dropped like pretty low, right? At an all-time low. And then he announces, oh, we're going to do something with Snoop Dogg to all the people that are holding the VCon 2022 tickets, and then of course it
pumped to like 0.6. It went from like 0.15 at the end of the conference to 0.6 in like a half hour.
Yeah. So I'm like kind of wondering, is there going to be any type of like, oh, we are going to do something with these 2023 tickets, folks. Like this is going to, during the conference, I'm kind of like,
there is one thing. The artist reveal is not happening until after. So that's either going to be a huge pump or it's going to be a total dud. You know what I mean? He's either going to be like, it's X copy, and like it goes crazy, or
Oh, wow.
or he's waiting till afterward because it's a dud. I don't know.
I didn't even realize that the art
Yeah,
wasn't
the art's not revealed yet. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, is it a play to buy? Well, obviously, yeah, it's probably gonna go lower, right? But it's
Ooh,
like,
how
is it
many
a
you
play to
thinking?
buy it like the day before VCon or something, and like
When it
maybe
gets
something?
really low and you
Yeah,
hope for
and
the
then like,
pump,
oh,
yeah.
maybe they
You
announced
got to be
something.
ready. You got to be ready to sell it from your phone though, as he announces it.
Oh,
because
true.
that was the time last year. You had
Or
like
you have it, or have it listed like for, I don't know,
right.
like
You
not
could
being
have it
greedy,
listed.
but like
Right.
a little
You
bit
could do
more.
that. I don't know if people are gonna freak out again because he did it last year and everyone bugged out. Like,
Yeah. And I know that, well, we've already said this a million times, but it's like this year it's supposed to be more of like a pop culture as well as NFTs and not just completely Web3 focused. So I don't know if there'll be as many people from Web3 there, but yeah, hey, that might be the play. All right. If anybody ends up doing that and it pumps,
financial advice
not
from Jenny
financial
from the
advice,
blockchain.
but let me know if you do that.
You could send your ETH to Jenny from the block.chain.
Yeah, I'll take 10% cut for the idea.
Uh,
And then if it dumps, then don't come for me.
nice.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's do the top 10 volume, and then we could say our pleasantries and let Emily
Our
plug whatever she wants to plug.
pleasantries. I've never heard you say that.
No, that's
pleasantries.
Yeah, our
pleasantries.
Our
Oh, an inconsequential remark
outro.
made as a part of a polite conversation.
Yeah.
Pleasantries.
It's not inconsequential. We'll be saying a nice goodbye to each other after we go over our weekly NFT collection rankings by sales volume for the last 7 days. And this one is interesting. It's different
10 to
than
1.
It normally is. 10 to 1. Thank you. We used to go 1 to 10. We did 1 to 10 for about a year and a half, and then we realized
like, maybe we should go 10 to 1.
Yeah, go 10 to 1. So number 10, Heavy Metal from Yuga. They did 1.6 million in volume. Number 9 is Oogie NFT on Solana, which is new and I've never heard of it. I don't know anything about it. Azuki's number 8. I said there's a weird list today. Number 7 is V Chronos on the Arbitrum blockchain. I don't know if we've ever had a top 10 Arbitrum blockchain before.
This is this is new, I think. Yeah.
It's wild. And number 1 is not an ETH project either. Number 6 is So Rare. We've talked about them a lot. Number 5 is the Mutants. Number 4 is the Captains, which is Meme Land, which for some reason I have to say that every time. Number 3 is Immutable X Block Lords Banners.
That's new. That must be a new game.
I think it's because ETH volume is so down and like the blur farming stopped. I don't know. Bored Apes is number 2 and a Solana project is number 1.
Really?
Mad Lads.
Oh, that's Mad Labs or something. Isn't that the DGOTs?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it, but I don't. Is it?
Wait, what is that?
I don't think so.
Emily, do you know?
Mad Lads. I don't think it's DGOT.
Wait, Mad Labs? Like LAB?
Lads.
Oh,
lads. Like the
Mad
Scottish
Lads?
like kid. Good day, lad.
Good day, lad.
How you
Oh,
doing,
okay. Mad Lads. Interesting.
Yeah. That's a diverse top 10 that we don't normally have.
Yeah, variety
for
of
the last 7
blockchains.
days. Yeah.
Wait, so speaking of Blur, you mentioned so that ended the whole
Didn't the
season 2?
I think season 2 ended.
Because I don't remember seeing people being like, I claimed my, Blur and like
Maybe they haven't done the job. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think that may have like single-handedly destroyed the entire NFT space, or it held us up. It might have held us up.
We
for a
were
while,
already
actually.
like going down
on the way. I know.
Emily, what do you think of Blur?
I can neither comment. No, I don't know.
Oh wait, I think isn't Zeneca like an investor or something in Blur? I feel like
he was an advisor, right?
Advisor. Okay.
Yeah, he's an advisor. I think you'll get in a really good conversation with him about Blur. I truly don't like. I think their platform is really interesting. I think that they've done some harm, but also they've disrupted a market that I think, I don't know, disruption is good. I'm trying not to like, I don't really have an
No, you're
opinion on
fine.
it.
Nobody listens. You can say what you like.
No. Yeah, no, I just don't have a strong opinion because I can see why artists are upset. I can see why founders are upset. I also, like, as as somebody who works for a project, it does suck what some of the stuff it has done to that. And it's like, also, I understand why traders and flippers are super ecstatic about it. It is catering to that market, which is a huge portion of this market, and you can't deny that. So yeah, I go both ways, and I know that's terrible.
I feel that. No, you know what? I second what Emily says. I feel that too.
It's like it's almost like a necessary evil to like almost bring us back to equilibrium, and I think we will. But in the meantime, it hurts for a lot of people, so that sucks. That's my hot take. It's not really hot or a take.
While we're getting your hot takes, what about the Ryan Carson situation? How'd you think that went down? How was that like handled?
Whoa. Are we talking about when he left Twitter, or what are we talking about exactly?
Yeah, I guess the time when he left Twitter.
Yeah.
That whole situation, because you guys were kind of close to that a little bit.
We were approached basically the week of. We were approached on the Wednesday. His last show was Friday, so that was very quick. To he approached us because our missions really align with trying to onboard more people and be a different sort of Twitter space. And so it was kind of like we couldn't refuse that kind of olive branch, and he wanted us to kind of give his community an olive branch. So I respect that. It was tough. He made some pretty huge mistakes along the way, and I think he knows that. But it really does suck when, I don't know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of things where I'm like, oh, just a good comms PR person could have helped you so much with some of this stuff. And so that's part of the thing where, that's kind of my role for Zen. So I think Zen and I had a lot of conversations around like, this is why you don't tweet in a silo for any founder. Like, this is why you get eyes on things. This is why you have a team behind you to help you work through messaging. So that's my like not so hot take. It was a weird time for us though too, because we wanted to help out somebody and be kind of, welcome his community with open arms, and their community was undoubtedly very, very strong and super, full of amazing humans, and still are full of amazing humans. So yeah,
I remember listening to that last show, and like I felt bad for them because they were all so genuine and part of it, and he was like leaving.
It's tough.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough situation. That's a lot of them kind of stick around. Do you see a lot of them in your community?
We see a handful, that was the weird thing, is like, we knew that you can't just like hand over a community to somebody that wasn't like, people have free will and aren't going to just be handed over. And we kind of knew that and said that from the beginning. And so, from the beginning, we wanted to keep true to our show. We didn't want to turn into the Daily Dose. So we stuck to our guns and stuck to our run of show and kind of how we do things. And it's evolved a lot over time. And we still have a ton of awesome community members from the Daily Dose that show up every day. And that honestly is the best compliment, because that was such a strong community. So
And what's kind of the end game for having, like, what do you guys get out of having the Twitter space every day? What's like, it's not, and I'm not like saying there's not anything good about it. I just want to know, like, because that's a big commitment, like we said. Like, what makes you guys want to do it? What do you get out of it?
So my biggest thing was letting Zeneca be Zeneca. He is such a he is a thought leader. Like, I know that term is thrown around a lot.
No, he is. Yeah.
And we, especially during a bear market where things just feel so arduous right now, being able to just show up and talk about the space and talk about what's going on does wonders for people and morale. I feel like it really does help like community just have a one-on-one interaction with him on a Twitter space, and just giving him a chance to educate and doing the thing he loves and does best, which is taking, hot takes, high level information, and distilling it down into really easy, digestible content. And yeah, especially as we're kind of leading up to PFP, we just wanted to open up the doors to have a little bit more genuine interactions with our communities. So that's kind of what keeps us going. It's been a lot of fun.
Nice. I like
And
it.
it's because it's fun. Yeah, because it's fun.
No doubt. This was a lot of fun. Zeneca is really lucky to have you by his side.
Oh yeah,
That's
definitely.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, Emily, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a really fun episode. Wish you the best with your wedding. You know, let us know if you do anything Web3 related for it. Yeah, and yeah, make sure you guys follow her on Twitter, Emileevee, and also Zen Academy. Do you run the Zen Academy Twitter?
I do. Yeah, it's at Zen
let's go.
Academy. No underscore anything at Zen Academy. We finally got the handle, and then my Twitter is Emileevee, Emileevee, like Eevee the Pokemon, because that was my favorite Pokemon growing up.
I'm like Michael, because I'm like I don't know Pokemon.
Well, I only know what my little 7-year-old
both don't
son
know.
has taught me. Yeah.
We both know nothing about.
I thought you were trying to be like the female Gary V. Like
That's so funny. I've been asked that. I'm like, no, but Evie is, well, the whole thing is my actual last name ends with a V, and so like Emileevee is my like name. Anyways, it's a whole thing. But,
Gary V. His last name's not V.
Maybe I can actually get a follow from him now for having that. But
Come on, Gary.
Gary listens every episode, so Gary, follow Emily, please.
Gary, follow
Gary, come on. Get with the program.
Oh, this was so fun. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all are so fun, and everyone go and write a review.
Oh yes, bringing it back to the review. Yes, if you made it this far, we would love a review, folks. Just tell us that we're the best and amazing and you love us, like whatever you want to say. But all right, well, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and we got a lot more episodes coming out soon, so stay tuned, folks, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_Pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.